The Miami Dolphins obviously lost to the Bills last night, and I know they're not technically officially eliminated, but we got to ask ourselves this question. Do they have a chance to actually make the playoffs at this point? It feels like it's a far cry. They're 0-3, and it's not like Aaron Rodgers back in the day when he was 0-4 said relax, Relax, if I could spell, and then they go on a big run throughout the rest of the season. It's not like that. They don't have Aaron Rodgers at quarterback. And the bigger questions that loom with that, starting 0-3, facing like back against the wall, facing the potential of not making the playoffs this year, is Tua the right guy? Do we need to reset the entire franchise? If I'm being completely honest, and I'm sure a lot of Dolphins fans would agree, you got to restart. It's over. You missed your window. Tyreek Hill is obviously a problem in the locker room. He's really expensive, and he's getting worse at the position. And it's not like he's bad. He's definitely not bad, but he is definitely a problem, being way overpaid for how much value he's bringing to the team at this point. And maybe part of that is Tua and Tua not being good enough. That being said, Tua is obviously not a good enough passer. Maybe he would be good enough if you had like an all-time defense, like a Bears, back in the day, Bears defense, really stud defense. You think about teams that could definitely do that nowadays. It's really hard to win in the AFC without an all-star quarterback, without someone like Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, all those guys. If you don't have someone like that in the AFC, then you're going to be up against it, especially you're in the Bills division. There's no shot that you can win the division. So, I mean, at 0-3, don't you just blow it up? I think the owner came out today and said that they're not going to do anything. But in my mind, you have to just completely blow this thing up. It is not working. Clearly, Tua was the wrong pick. You could have taken Justin Herbert instead. Can you think about what this team would have been like with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle and Achane back in the backfield, with Justin Herbert at quarterback? And I know Justin Herbert has his own problems, but he is a much more gifted player and an overall way better quarterback than Tua at this point. I mean, look what he's doing with the Chargers this season. But if you had all those weapons and Mike McDaniel calling the plays, imagine how good he could look in this kind of an offense. It's crazy now to think about it taking Tua. Another really crazy thing to think about is that Jalen Hurts got benched in the national championship game in college in his sophomore junior year for Tua, and Tua ended up coming out in the second half and leading Alabama to a championship that year, and then they move off of Jalen Hurts, and so Jalen Hurts gets moved off of because they think that Tua is a better quarterback, and now we're in this place where Tua is a worse quarterback than Jalen Hurts, and Jalen Hurts is far more clutch. What a complete 180 from what we saw in college. It really goes to show that just because someone's good in college or does the right things in college does not mean that they're going to be successful in the NFL. And Tua, I know he's had his injury history, and it really sucks for him that that's been part of his game and going on. When you consider it the head stuff, that he can't get past that, it's not like he has, a bunch of other lingering injuries, even though he does have some injuries. That being said, for him to be where it's at, it is definitely disappointing if you're a Dolphins fan. I can't imagine a Dolphins fan that says, hey, let's just keep running this back year after year and see how it goes. You've got to blow this thing up, right?